Okay, so let's continue with the 3D search. In the previous presentation, I showed you documents. It might look simple, but guys, again, ignoring documents type could be a very costly mistake. If you skip that presentation, please go back and watch documents. Otherwise, let's continue. Right now, we're going to cover damages. Lots of damages types you can find at auto auctions. For example, front end, rear end, side damage, roof damage, rollover, undercarriage, fire, theft, hail, minor dents and scratches, vandalism, all over, biohazard, burn, frame, mechanical, unknown, stripped, replaced VIN, partial repair, normal wear, rejected repair, flood, and damage history. It's a lot of damages, right? What to do? First of all, let's calm down. We're gonna dissect all the damages again and dissect them and combine them into groups. So I picked good damages, bad damages, and ugly damages. So let's start with ugly. So for example, rollover. If you see cars like that, it's gonna, usually it's beyond repairs. So you see cars like that, that's parts only. So we're not gonna cover these damages in my course. Flood damage. If you see car like that and you see it was really flooded, you see, like inside of the vehicle is moldy, like dirt everywhere. It's expensive repairs. It's engine, transmission, electrics, and so on. It's beyond repairs as well. I think this flood damage cars is good for parts only as well. Fire damage. This damage we're not gonna cover because, it's beyond reasonable way to repair them, restore them, and fix them. So we're not gonna cover them completely. Bad damages. Even though I call them bad damages, it's just for the reason of this online course, because online course I designed so you, even if you don't know how to repair cars, you can still save money. That's actually, we're looking for the gold nuggets. We're looking for the gold nuggets at auto auctions, Copart or insurance auto auctions. So bad damages, they do look bad, but though many folks still buy them and fix them, but they have knowledge how to fix cars. Many of them actually own body shops. For example, I own body shop as well, so I know what to do with these kind of cars. So usually bad damages is front end damage, rear end damage, side damage, and the roof damage. So it's pretty much where the car was in one side of the accident. So we have it. So let's start with the front end damage. You look at this Audi A7 Prestige. It looks like a minor damage, right? But in real case, front end damage, actually it has more damages. For insurance company to declare the vehicle total loss, it needs to find frame damage. So even though take a look back at this image, it looks like you need just a bumper and the headlamps, right? But there is broken plastic, there is broken headlamps, the suspension could be gone, there is hidden damages. The picture is a picture, right? So there is no way you can see the whole extent of the damages just by looking at the 10 pictures which insurance auto auction or Copart provides. Rear end damage. You see the picture on the left, you see the left quarter is heavily damaged. So to fix it properly, you need actually to cut the panel and replace the panel. That's, guys, it's a very time-consuming procedure, labor-intensive. It's gonna cost you lots of money. And again, it's a frame damage. So you actually cut piece of unibody and then you use another one as a donor one. So not many people would want to do this kind of repairs, and especially not many shops will do these repairs in the United States. Side damage. Again, looking by this picture seems pretty simple. Replace the door, replace the front fender, maybe suspension, but side damage, it has the frame damage as well. And sometimes to fix this kind of damage, you need to do this one. That's a Model 3, and we fixed Tesla in my body shop. So you see, you have to cut also piece of unibody and actually put it back. It takes lots of effort, takes lots of labor. It's very intensive. You need to understand what you're doing. So for you guys, I say front end damage, rear end damage, roof and side damage, we're gonna ignore. So if I say ignore all this stuff, what's the good damages? So, and we're going to talk about this right now. I'm going to show you demonstration at the auctions as well. And that's the good damages. We're going to concentrate on these damages because these damages, as I said previously, golden nuggets. So if you find them and you win it for the specific amount of money, which makes sense, you're going to be the winner, right? So what's the good damages? The good damages is repossession, it's rejected repair, donations, hail damage, and my favorite, theft recovery and vandalism. So I say let's take a look at each of them and we're going to do a little demonstration. I'm going to show you how to find this vehicle and what kind of vehicle to expect, with these damages. Okay, so it's a repossession. Shortly we call it REPO. So here's again, I took this extract from the Wikipedia, but pretty much it means when somebody purchased the car and he finances the car and he stops paying for the car. So the company, the bank, or whoever, they say okay, that's our car, give it back to us. And sometimes they have to take it a really wrong way, so they damage the car and so on. So it ends up at the auction as a REPO damage. For example, look at this 2019 Jeep Cherokee Trailhawk. So first of all, REPO damage is not going to show as the primary damage as a REPO. Actually, in this case, we see it's a minor dents and scratches, and the secondary damages, it's a normal wear. So pretty much it's a clean car with a clean title document type, but it's actually a repossession car. And I'm going to show you how I found this out. At Insurance Auto Auction, you can see this 2016 Ford Focus, and it actually has as a primary damage repossession. So Insurance Auto Auction and Copart has different damages types. So repossession cars exist at Copart, you just find it a little bit differently, and at Insurance Auto Auctions it has actually damages as repossession. So right now I'm actually going to show you the demonstration how I find it. Okay, so let's take the REPO. And the REPO, we can actually find them at Copart, and we're going to find these cars at Insurance Auto Auction. So I suggest we start with the Copart so you can actually see where to find them. So we go to the feature tab and you see there is repossessions right here. There is 734 cars, not much, right? But there is still cars to choose from. But you need to understand that repossession cars are not always great. So you can see there are lots of damages by looking at this little, thumbnails. So what are we going to do first when we select the repossession? Again, I always suggest ownership doc type, you select clean title and salvage title only. Do not select non-repairables, even though it's only 25 cars and maybe you're not going to be able to buy them, but just in case, select clean and salvage. So just ignore non-repairables completely. So again, you select this, you see there is a car actually with a damage, and repossession cars doesn't really mean it's going to be all nice like a used car and somebody took it because, someone couldn't just pay for the car. So you need to do one more thing here. And the one more thing here is actually you go to the damages, and damages here, you're going to find there is different damage types. You would want to find the normal wear. So, normal wear, it means the car has no issues at all. So we select these ones. We can select vandalism. Vandalism is okay. Strip, sometimes it's good because it may be only missing just, wheels. Minor dents and scratches. Sure, why not? So that means this car is going to be okay. Hail damage, it's only 2 of them, but it's okay, up to you. So right now, if you sort them out, these cars gonna look okay. So you see there is actually vandalism and it was repossessed, and vandalism, it's a little bit different. We're gonna show it later, so we're not gonna cover it right now. But look, minor dents and scratches, normal wear, so why not? I'm gonna show you this Chevrolet Malibu. So the thing with these cars, they're gonna be enhanced. It means it's not a run and drive condition. The reason for this, there is no keys. You see, keys no. And most of these cars, because they actually impounded or they actually repossessed, so it means they taken out from the owner who couldn't pay for the car. So it means the keys not going to be there. So you're going to get the car. It might look good. The thing is, you would just need to get the keys, get it separately, whether you take it Chevrolet Malibu directly to the Chevrolet dealership or you just find a locksmith who can do it for you. Actually, some of them does the service remotely, and you can do it at the Copart location. And there are a few of them, you can find them, like based on the geographic location of the car. So there's another one, Kia Forte, you see, looks actually nice, and this one has keys. Great. And so on, so on. You just look, again, by the make, the model, depends what you look for. But this car is going to be okay looking. They're going to be fine. They're going to be repo. Again, I would recommend inspection, as I always do. There's actually a very nice vehicle condition report. You can buy this for $35. You need to log in first. But anyways, for $35, it will provide you lots of value. We'll talk about it in the next module. So that's actually Copart. Copart actually have one more cars I'm going to show you right now. If you go to Vehicle Finder, right there at the bottom, you see there is source, impounded vehicle, repossession, and donation. So we look at the repossession, there's also impound vehicles. You can search through that as well, because some cars are going to be okay here. It's only 217 of them. It's not going to be many. Again, ownership dog type. You see right now it's only clean and salvage. That's okay for us. And then we're going to look for the damage, and we're going to select the cars with a normal wear. So there's not many of them here, you see, and they're like on the older side. But you can always check it. Why not? Insurance auto auction, how we search it here. We start with a fast search. And when the fast search actually is going to be done, we need to go and search for repossession. Okay, and here you go to the condition, the primary damage. You need to see, you see the list is not really visible, and you can look for this primary damage for a long time. So what you need to find right now, you're going to find repossession right here. You're going to select, you're going to apply. And I'm going to show you the reason why I say like insurance auto auction search engine is not that great, because at the moment we selected repossession, right? But we also want to find normal wear cars, because these cars are going to be actually over 500 of them. And at the moment, there are going to be lots of cars with damages. As we've done really simple stuff at the Copart, we've done repossession and we selected normal wear, right? So over here, that's going to be not that simple, because if I go to condition again, you see repossession is the only flag that's been here. So you cannot select normal wear, that's really the problem. So pretty much you need to go through makes and models, even though sometimes, just like, remember how easy it is over here just to go and sort it by year, right here, clicking by the year. Over here, you cannot do this. You need to actually go over here, find year newest first, and that's how it's going to sort it. So I think the user interface is not that great. It's a little bit slower, but anyways, that's how you get access to repossession cars. And then you just go through, probably make and model. So you're gonna, make the list smaller, and then you can go over the list of them and see if you can find any good car here. But anyways, that was repossession. Okay, so let's continue. Another one I'm going to show you, it's a rejected repair. That's actually a Copart only. Insurance auto auction doesn't have this rejected repair. So rejected repair is pretty simple. It's visible evidence of previous poor quality repairs to any part of the vehicle. So for example, somebody gets an accident. Insurance company estimates that it's going to cost, let's say, 25% to fix the car of the retail value. So it doesn't mean like it's a total loss vehicle. So insurance company provides the money, and the body shop does the repair. So the time has come, repair is done, the owner comes, he sees the vehicle and he says, no guys, the repair is done poorly, I can see it, it's not safe to drive, I don't want this car. So he calls his insurance company, sometimes it happens with a lawyer, and they actually, insurance company buys this car back. So same procedure, they pay the guy full amount of money, they take the car, but now we have, seems to be okay car, which is repaired, right? But it's a rejected repair. So it means the owner rejected the repair. So here is the sample. We have 2019 GMC Yukon. Actually, it's a nice car, right? And it's actually has the seller farmer insurance. So it's insurance company. And the primary damage is a rejected repair. So I always, if you see rejected repair, it might be excellent deal, really excellent deal. And the quality of repairs are pretty good. So, but always call inspector, because sometimes they don't finish the car completely. So for example, the guy comes and checks the car in the middle of the repairs. So, and insurance company buys it right at that point. So they don't finish fixing the car. So sometimes kind of like you see the visually complete car, but it's not. So inspection is recommended, and we're going to cover it in module 3. Here's another sample. It's a 2018 Ford F-150, and you can see it's also rejected repair as a primary damage. And look at that, estimated retail value at $36,000, and you can buy this car at $21,000. It looks like a great deal. You can save $15,000 right there on a brand new truck, which is already repaired. But again, it's nice to go see the car in person, send inspector. If he says it's okay, boom, you save $50,000 on a brand new truck. So I'm going to show you how to find rejected repairs right now. Okay, let's take a look at the rejected repair. Actually, it might be a really good buy. Again, if you find the proper vehicle you want, you inspect it, and you think it's a great deal, then go for it. How we find rejected repairs? You know, like if you go on the main website, on their main page, if you go to the featured, there is no rejected repair. So it's not here. If you go to find the vehicle and you go to the vehicle finder, it's actually have like more advanced version of a search. There is no rejected repair in damages as well. It doesn't exist here. So in case to find it, you see right here at the top, I typed rejected. That's how you search for it. You type rejected repair or just rejected. So when you do this, it's going to find not many, but it's only 35 entries. And you see the damage, rejected repair. I think that's a little hack. I'm just going to provide you. So that's the only way to find it. There is not many cars, and you look at the cars, they're mostly brand new cars, because that's the cars that make sense to repair. You know, the older cars where the value is not that much and repair cost is pretty high, it's easier for insurance company for these cars to write them off completely, do a total loss, give a salvage title, and that's it. On more expensive cars, you know, it makes sense to repair them because the value of the vehicle is pretty high. So let's take a look at these Mercedes-Benz. So even though you see it's kind of like a rejected repair, the car is actually after the accident. So what happens? So insurance company actually estimated that the repair cost of this vehicle is not over 50%. So, you know, they estimate the retail value of $40,000. So they say, okay, to repair this car is going to be probably $12,000. So it still makes sense to repair this car, and you know, like it's going to be cheaper for insurance company to pay for the car and put it on the road than actually get it as the you know, like as a total loss and actually pay the owner $40,000. So this car, if you know how to repair them, it's okay. If you not ready to do this stuff, you can go back to results and actually look for the car that's been already repaired. Like let's take a look at, for example, this Mercedes-Benz GLE Coupe. Wow, it's AMG. That's pretty expensive car. It's a rejected repair as well. And this car looks great. You see, it's already been repaired. And it's the case when the owner of the car, when he saw the final result, he was not happy. He probably hired a lawyer in this case and actually made the insurance company to pay him the full vehicle amount, in this case $68,522, and he just went ahead and purchased a new one probably and then he got car without accident. But this car, if it sells for great value, wow, that's amazing. It's been repainted, but again, I highly recommend for this, just not vehicle condition report, which we're going to talk about later in module 3, but actually in this case, it makes sense to call and order third-party inspection. So independent inspection. When the guy comes, he inspects it, he's going to tell you the quality of repairs and if it actually passes for good used car. And you see this actually has a salvage certificate. So, you know, like because once they paid the full amount, insurance company had to do this. In some states, it's actually, it's the law. Okay, so let's take a look at something else. Oh, look, there is a Dodge Challenger. I love Dodge Challenger, and this is actually a Hellcat. You see by the, actually I know Hellcats because of the hood. It's certificate of title, it's a salvage, it's been rejected repair, State Farm insurance, low mileage, and looks amazing. So, I mean, this car retails around, even though it declared $65,000, I'd say like, yeah, very close to it. So, and if you can buy this car for, let's say, $40,000, whoa, you got like a huge savings. So, but again, I would hire the inspector. He would just go over it. But sometimes even if you buy it, like let's say you see this car and you're gonna say, I'm gonna buy it for 50%, let's say at $30,000, it still makes sense to buy it at $30,000 and actually put a little bit money aside to fix it if something comes up. But otherwise, run and drive, looks nice, absolutely amazing. That's rejected repairs. Okay, another good damage is donation. Donation is a gift for charity, humanitarian aid, or to benefit a cause. So usually the cars we find at Copart or insurance as donation, that's the cars that belong to church. So the church doesn't sell vehicles, so they actually get rid of the cars through auto auction. And you know, like it's actually a win-win situation because church gets money and Copart sells the car. Excellent, right? So the only thing you need to look for when it's donation, you know, some cars are not that good. To be honest, you know, when you want to get rid of something, you want to write it off on your taxes. So, and the car is bad, you say like, it's great. I'm just gonna get some money back on my taxes. The car is broken anyways. I'm just gonna get rid of it because I don't need to pay for it, and so on and so on. So they give like a bad cars with mechanical problems sometimes and with a super high mileage. So you know, like it's gonna break at some point. You don't want expenses, you get rid of it. And usually when it's a high mileage cars, there's no keys. You know, the guys just throw away the keys. They give the car as the, you know, like as donation, and who knows what to do with this kind of cars. So I would completely ignore and skip cars with no keys, especially when it's donation. Let's take a look at this 2015 BMW 640. You see, it's a high mileage car. It's almost 150,000 miles, 150,000 miles. It's a BMW and it's enhanced. It doesn't run and drive. So, and it's donation. So we know what's wrong with the car. The engine is dead, right? Otherwise, it's a pretty good because, you know, the body is good. So you just need to replace the engine. So you just need to calculate the cost of it. If it makes sense, why not? It might be a good deal. Okay, and let's take a look at the demonstration. Okay, so let's take a look at donations. And donations, we're gonna look only at Copart because that's the only website actually from 2 auctions that lists donations vehicle. So what you need to do, you need to go to the main page and then like at the featured, you'll find donations. And you see there's 5,303 vehicles at the moment. And that's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not big fan of donations vehicle because they usually go pretty expensive and you always need to inspect them because there is a reason, you know, it's a donation vehicle. I mean, in a rare case, it's a good cars, but you know, as we say, not every car is bad at auction, but every bad car goes to auction. So, you know, like problem cars, they go to auction and the guys give them to churches, you know, they write off money, you know, like on their taxes reports, whatever. I mean, there is a reason the car is, you know, like at the auction as donation. So first of all, we look, there's donation vehicles right now. There's 5,000 cars. That's pretty cool. The only thing, as always, guys, you know, ownership doc type. You know, there is non-repairable cars, 184 of them. With the title means you cannot register these cars. So select clean or salvage, and you see there is mostly clean title cars because, I mean, these cars be not in an accident. It's the cars that just people donate, and it's usually a clean title car. It's like a used car. So we select clean, we select salvage cars, and we get the results. Then, of course, it depends what the car you're looking for. You can go through all of them. You can go by the budget. You can go by the year, go by the make, model, whatever you want. It's up to you completely, but just like to go over them, you can see there is multiple cars right there. So, and some of them is going to be pretty cool because normal wear, minor dents and scratches. So it means they're pretty good, in good conditions cars. So let's look at this actually. This car is actually Jeep Compass. So let's just take a look at what's happening here. So you see it's a high mileage car. This one is actually dealer only clean title. So it means that if you have a dealer license, you get a clean title. So if you're public, we'll talk about this in module 4, you would need to buy it through broker. So broker will buy for you, he gets the clean title, he reassign it to you and you get like a nice car. So otherwise you see there is minor damage, might be not a big issue, but with this kind of mileage, you know, like it's there might be something wrong with the engine, with the transmission, with something else, or it may be a good vehicle. So I would just go ahead and actually see there is vehicle condition report. You can order that. We're going to talk about this in the module 3 when you're going to do a little bit of research on the cars you're going to buy. I mean, you do inspect if the car checks out, so why not? It might be a really good, it could be a really good buy. Let's take a look at some other cars. I'm just gonna look at let's say this Dodge Grand Caravan. It's Wisconsin. You can go by the state if you don't want to pay too much money. On a shipping car, but usually there is actually a little secret. So if you're looking for the cars in Los Angeles and New York, these states, prices on cars usually higher. Instead of you buying the car, let's say in Milwaukee, or you buy the car in some city in Minnesota, because there are not many buyers there. People don't necessarily want to move the car, so you can get a really good deal there sometimes. So sometimes it makes sense actually to purchase the car from further state, even though you're going to pay shipping fees, but the car is going to be cheaper. And you see, it's high mileage car, 2014, 126,000 miles. It still states as a run and drive, so it may be okay, but there is a reason, let's say it this way, there is a reason, and look, it looks pretty clean. There is a reason it's at auction, and the reason I cannot tell you right now was the reason of it without inspection. So at the moment we're just looking at the picture, but that's pretty much it, and it's a clean title again, and you can search more, again, just depends on the make and model, but pretty much you do this, and you have multiple filters. You can go and check which cars you want to buy. You look, there is BMWs you can buy. Of course, BMW is going to be on the, on the older end, 2011, but still, there are cars which is, again, minor dent scratches, normal wear, so it's cars without damages. You can check them, you can beat them, and you can win it for great price. That was the nation's vehicle. Next damage, hail damage. I think it's one of my favorite damages, because there's hail happens every year. It depends. June, May, July is really good months for hail. And some damages are really heavy, hail could be like a golf ball. So then the whole car is destroyed. So it's good for parts. And then, there is different ones. This one I would pass because it's pretty expensive repairs. You need to repair the whole panels. It might be costly. But then there is this kind of hail damage when it's not really visible. It's very minor dents, and you can easily fix it with a PDR. What is PDR? PDR is a paintless dent repair. It's actually a paintless dent remover, and it's a method actually of removing minor dents from the body of a motor vehicle. So there is special instruments, there is guys who does it, and they fix the cars. And actually, it could be like $1,000 or $1,500 to fix it via PDR instead of repairing the car, repainting it, doing all these expensive repairs, and it's only $1,000, $1,500. So remember these kind of damages from the hail, don't buy this, because this one is actually, it's impossible to fix it. The only way to fix it is actually going to be fixing it and repainting it, and that's not a good solution. So I would not recommend this. I recommend cars that can be done with the PDR, paintless dent removal. It's dents that you can actually, it's maybe minor, so it's going to be easy to fix. But again, guys, sometimes I've seen the cases, people buy cars with a minor hail damages and they don't fix it. Seriously, they don't fix it. They just drive it as this because it doesn't affect anything. It doesn't affect driving. The tail lamp, headlamps are okay. If it's not okay, you just replace them, but that's pretty much it. So there is also an example PDR before. You can see on the hood there is small damages there, and there is PDR after. So it's completely fixed. I want to show you a recent example. We purchased this 2015 Ford Edge, and it's sold for $4,500. Retail value was almost $15,000. Guys, we saved $10,000 on this car. Yes, it's a hail damage. It's a white car. It's really difficult to see the damages there. But guys, again, some people don't even fix it. They drive it as is. But if you fix it, maybe it's going to cost you $8,000. You still save $7,000. I think it's amazing. Remember, I showed you this beautiful Bentley Continental. It's a hail damage, clean title car. and here you go. So it's all also like somebody purchased it at 65% of retail value. I mean, fix it and boom, you got like an awesome car with a huge discount. But this one example I show you specifically to actually avoid it, because hail damage actually damages the paint. And if the car is pretty, you know, like new, it's 2015 or it's 2016, 17, 18. So even if the hail makes a damage to the paint stays there. This one is 2012. And actually when we started doing PDRs, you know, the paint cracked. So in this case, we had to do expensive repairs. You see, like on the side, and the hood was replaced, and the tail, everything was replaced, and the whole car was repainted. So with the hail damage, there is a summary: newer car better, and it works on PDR only on flat panels. If it's not on flat panels, there might be little dents, so you just need to live with that. But sometimes you save 50% on these cars, you know, like I can live with few dents, seriously, no issues. So let's take a look at the demonstration. Okay, hail damage. Let's take a look at the hail damage. I believe it's one of the best damages out there. You can get hell of a lot of a great car and save up to 50% on these cars. Again, when you're gonna go to Copart.com, you're gonna go to featured, and you're gonna find it right here as the hail damage cars. You know, like right now it's February. You know, not many hail damage cars out there, so it's only around $1,400. But guys, wait till May. When May comes, June, July, August, and September, there are going to be lots of hail damage cars that come in from Colorado, from Missouri, from Oklahoma. So these states are usually, you know, pretty big on hail damage. So we click on this one. Again, it's gonna show every possible car out there with all years, you know, like makes and models. Again, ownership type. Don't select non-repairable, clean, and salvage titles only. And then you can, of course, like select cars by which one you want. Like let's say, let's look for the Ford one. And again, I recommend hail damage cars that's actually like 3-4 years old, because the paint is actually fresh, and when the hail makes the damage, it can be easily restored. And actually, you can see by document type, Colorado, Minneapolis, Oklahoma, Colorado, it's Wyoming, Oregon, Missouri, you see these states, Texas as well. There's lots of hail damage cars there, and you can find some cars. Again, heavy damage cars we probably gonna completely ignore because it's gonna be expensive to fix. But for example, look at this one. You can barely see, there is like few dots right there. So actually few guys purchased these cars from us and they didn't even fix them. They drive it nicely. It's run and drive cars, no issues. But believe me, if it doesn't even look, there are gonna be lots of little dents there, and you can do PDRs on them, not a problem. But heavy damage, if I can find one, the one we usually try to skip. That's actually when the windshield is broken, when the rear window is broken, like this one. I think the windshield is broken. You see the windshield is broken, that's actually, it means the hail was pretty big, and you can see the fender, you see it's all dented right there. And this one, it's impossible to do PDR on them. So, fender needs to be replaced, hood needs to be replaced, the windshield needs to be replaced, roof needs to be completely repainted. And you see, actually, the side of it, it has really heavy damage, and you won't be able to do PDRs on them. So only, you need to do real repairs on that, which is okay. Some guys can still do that, repaint the whole car, but depends, on the price of the car, how much you're gonna pay for that. And believe it or not, it's a certificate of title, it's a clean title, so lots of people actually use it, they purchase the car, they fix them, and just put it on the market for sale. But I usually say, ignore this car and just buy with the light damage. So now we're gonna go to insurance auto auction. So how we search for hail damage car? Again, unfortunately, there is not an easy way to access all hail damage. It would be really great. You go to, again, fast search, and then you would need to select hail damage. So a little bit of time to load up, go to condition of the car, again, primary damage, view more. And you see the bad part about this, when you select hail damage right here, and I'm gonna select it, it's actually a primary damage. Sometimes actually when the car is in a hail damage, sometimes it's a secondary damage because somebody was driving the car, hail started, they just got out, like off the road, they got undercarriage as a primary damage, which is not a real big issue, but then there is a secondary hail damage, and you won't find it here because we're looking for the hail as the primary damage. And again, you need to search for newer cars, so you would go and do years, but again, you can of course search for 2010 if you want, but you just need to prepare, so PDRs are probably not going to do really good on them, so you will need still some panels repainted. So, and here we go. Again, you can select hail damage, see the cars you want. There is some light damages. You see, like this one, it's actually damaged cars because it was hail, and actually they put the hail damage as the first one. But if we search for hail damage here, and I search it in this one, you're gonna see, you see some cars are repossession as a primary damage. And the hail damage is a secondary one. So if I click on this 2004 Ford, you will see the primary damage on this one actually going to be repossession, but the secondary damage is going to be hail. So, like if you actually go by the primary damage hail, you won't see this car because it's going to be under primary damage repossession. So that's why, like I say, insurance auto auction, it's a little bit complicated in a search. It's a little bit complicated. We'll see it later when we do online bidding, but otherwise it will take a little more time to find what you're looking for. But again, once you know your make and model, like specific date, it's going to be easier because you can actually search all cars and then just go through all of them. It's not going to be too many of them. And that was it for hail damage. Okay, now we get into the best part, theft recovery. Theft recovery is one of my favorite damages ever. Here is again extract from the Wikipedia, but it pretty much says salvage title for stolen or vandalized vehicle which is not recovered by police within 21 days. Insurance company declares it a total loss and pays the owner full amount of money. So the car is stolen, 21 days later it's not found, insurance company pays you off, boom, the car gets salvage title and gets to the auction. So here's my example. That's the car I showed you earlier. It's a 2016 Dodge Charger SRT and it was theft recovery. My primary damage is minor dents and scratches, and you see the secondary damage is a normal wear, though it's a salvage title and with the greatest 75%. So it means insurance company declared total loss. I purchased this car for $20,000 and I showed you it earlier. All in, it was $23,000. Same car for sale, the cheapest one I found, $38,000. So I saved $15,000. I think it's a great deal. Same with this one, 2017 Nissan Sentra Turbo. Again, purchased for $8,900. All in around $12,000 compared to $24,000. Saved $12,000. And guys, it's amazing examples, and I have lots of more. It's just great. Theft recovery is my favorite damage. So let's take a look. I'm going to show you how to find these theft recovery damages. Okay, so let's see theft recovery. I'm so actually excited about sharing this with you because I personally have purchased so many great cars that were theft recovery, not just me, but my friends, my clients, and it's really amazing. So let's go ahead at Copart.com. So you go to the featured ones and you looking for theft recovery. So the big thing here is actually, when you think of theft recovery, many people think that this car is actually it's a problematic one. Actually, it's not. So you see, there is a recovered theft. There is around 4,000 cars at the Copart right now. So there is lots of cars to choose from. And actually, they're not bad. It's a recovered theft. So the vehicle was stolen. In 21 days, it wasn't found. So insurance company paid, the owner of the car the full amount for the vehicle. And then the car gets to the Copart. That's pretty simple. And sometimes cars found like a year later, sometimes it's found like a few months later. It doesn't matter. At least you can buy it, you get like a title and you can register it and that's it. Again, with the registration part, we're looking for clean title and salvage title only. And you see there's few clean titles. There's also non-repairable titles because some cars, I'm going to select ones just to show you, because some cars, people do not want to register. You see, like these ones are in pretty bad shape. So, like if you buy them, they don't want you to register. So we're going to choose only clean title and salvage title. That's it. But there's still going to be some damages with that. So if you want no damages car completely, you go to the damage and you look for normal wear right here. You can also select vandalism. It's okay. It's part of, actually, this demo is also part of the vandalism, because vandalism and theft recovery are very close, because usually the car that's in theft recovery, it's vandalized in some case. Stripped, it's okay, we can choose, but sometimes, stripped cars are in pretty bad shape. You see there's only 3 cars with replaced VIN. This one you need to go to DMV and check if it's okay, and we're actually going to show it a little later. But at the moment, so we have normal wear car, when we have vandalism car, and it's in theft recovery. The thing with Copart, when you look at this car, it's not going to say it's a theft recovery. So you see the primary damage over here is actually vandalism, but it doesn't show that it's actually a theft recovery. It's the only way to find if it's a theft recovery, it's search for the car only through the link of recovered theft. So, but we know this car is absolutely amazing, 2019 Dodge Charger with low miles, and it looks beautiful, and it's theft recovery. Guys, who buys this car is going to be so freaking happy. But again, that's the vandalism, but there is also like normal wear. So let me find one car I'm going to show you. Let's see. Oh, Rolls-Royce Cullinan, guys. I know it's not for everyone. Oh, there is actually, look at this, beautiful. They have like a nice video, of course, because this car is freaking expensive. So they try to sell it. But look, 2019 Rolls-Royce Cullinan, that's like a freaking expensive car, $325,000. Of course, it's a certificate of title salvage, which is good. It means it's going to be cheaper in price, but look at this amazing car. Oh, wow. It's a normal wear, no issues. Wow. I mean, I would love to own it. At the moment, it's $152,000, but it's still $200,000 less. Of course, it still has 22 days to go, so the price on this one is going to be pretty high because there are going to be lots of buyers from Dubai, from Europe, from wherever, because it's pretty much very unique car. So this one can get really close to $300,000 because it's a rare car. Sometimes it's impossible to buy it used one. So lots of people from overseas, they will buy this car because it's accessible right away. They wire the money, they get the car. And actually, one more thing, this is actually Copart, but it's actually Crash Toys. Crash Toys is part of Copart system, and they have actually very good explanation. You see in the notes, they're gonna tell you lots of good information, that it's a recovered theft, this insurance company supplied vehicle that's recovered theft, has a key, runs great, blah blah blah. And actually their fees little bit different than the Copart's one, but you go like to their link. We're actually gonna go over it like in a modules ahead. You're gonna find it out. You're gonna learn about that stuff. But I mean, theft recovery is such a great thing. The only thing I want to tell you about it, like this expensive car is probably handled pretty nicely. But like some other theft recovery cars, for Copart, it's still car, like they don't care much about it, unfortunately. So it's not like a used car dealership or like a nice place. So the car is usually handled roughly. It's used by forklifts. So there might be some minor damages to bumpers, damages underneath the car from the forklift. So you should understand that it's okay. Like you're saving money, you're saving like 40-50% on the car. You need to understand, there is a price you pay. Okay. So it's a theft recovery. It's at Copart. Like the car is handled as the parts for most of these folks who work there. So, you need to understand that. Okay. So let's go to insurance auto auction. So here we also go to fast search as usual, and we're gonna look for theft recovery as the primary damage. We go to the condition of the car, primary damage. Actually, there is a loss type theft, so we can choose this one and see apply. So there's gonna be like all the cars here that's actually been in theft recovery. Here we go, theft, damage, theft. Theft, damage, theft. Again, it's absolutely amazing opportunity. There are lots of cars. You see, there is some like with the damages, you can skip them. But, like if you look for normal wear car, 2011 Audi A6 Prestige looks pretty good to me, like, and it actually has the keys and everything. So, like, it's opportunity to purchase the car and save lots of money. Theft recovery. And now vandalism. Vandalism is pretty much, it's almost the same as the theft recovery. Sometimes they put in the same category because theft recovery could be vandalism and vandalism could be theft recovery. But usually that's what vandalism cars look like. Somebody take like paint or, like spray can and they spray the whole car with some words, whatever, just like to do pretty much damage to other car. Take like a nail, like do scratches all over the cars. Vandalism. It can be the same vandalism when you cut the interior, or you can take the paint and just, destroy the interior. That's the vandalism. And it depends, some vandalism are pretty good. So, like there are some cases are pretty good, but sometimes it does take effort to fix them. But anyways, take a look at vandalism and it's also pretty good damage. Okay, and another one at the end, it's actually maybe, okay? So it's a maybe case. I'm not saying you have to look into these damages. I've done it in the past and sometimes it works great, but you need to do proper inspection before purchasing them, okay? We're gonna cover it in module 3, but just, like put it in a maybe category. It's undercarriage and flood damage. So what is undercarriage? Undercarriage, visually the car looks good. Usually no damages at all. But it might be engine issue, transmission issue, subframe issue, suspension issue, or brakes issue. So you don't know because it's actually undercarriage. It's underneath the car. I'm gonna show you my example. It's a 2016 Dodge Charger, the one I purchased it. It came with the undercarriage damage. And by the look at it, you can see the right front wheel actually, like looks like damage and the rocker panel is gone. But that's pretty much it. I did inspect the car, so I knew its, engine was okay and transmission was okay. That's why I purchased it. But otherwise, be extremely careful because if it looks good on a picture, but it can be, if the engine is damaged, it's pretty expensive repair. So that was the problem with my car. It has undercarriage suspension damage and subframe damage, but I could fix it easily. It wasn't that expensive. And at the end, you see, I got a very nice Dodge Charger. So original parts was around $1,500, oil and filter $200. I repaired the rim, purchase new tires, paint the front bumper and the rocker panel. Labor was around $1,500, so my total repair was close to $5,000. I purchased the car for $19,000, all in close to $24,000. This car retailed at that time for $35,000, so I saved $10,000. Guys, it's amazing. But again, do proper inspection. Don't buy it just by the looks, okay? And the flood damage. Flood damage, I showed you, like it's a no-no. But sometimes you see the car, brand new car, looks nice, it states run and drives, you don't see any watermarks, water lines, nothing. These cars are good for inspection. Call the inspector, like send him over, he can start the car, he can check if there is any water in engine, and if it's good, I've seen some cars are good. I don't have examples because I try to avoid it, okay? I know the guys, my students purchase flood damage cars and they were okay, but usually I try to stay away from them because issues can appear not right away, but after some time. I've seen the cases like you purchase the car, everything works great, but 6 to 12 months later, here we go, electric issues happen, something happens, and then it starts repairs, like that's why, guys, I'd say like I would just stay away from flood damage completely. But if you like the car and you inspect the car and everything looks good, I put it as a maybe. Okay, and it concludes my second presentation for damages. So now let's take a look at the third one, the final D.